Okay, so now I'm gonna speedrun Epic Combo Redux because, quite frankly, this game deserves to be on speedrun.com. I've seen a few people who have speedrun kind of different, I would say, categories for the game, but it's not on speedrun.com yet. So I'm gonna be the one to take the plunge and actually get it on there. And in the process, I'm going to get world record, obviously, because it just makes sense to do. So my strategy here is literally just to get a bunch of turtles between a bunch of buzzsaws, and it works, you know. It's the most brain-dead strategy, but it also works the best. So first we're going to get like 1200. That's about what you need for buzzsaw. 2 buzzsaws. See, I slightly went under 1200 there, and that is gonna negatively impact the run. Who would have thought? But yeah, we're just gonna start by putting the ground saws, is what they're called. The ground saws down, and then buzz saws down, and then a bunch of mines, and then we win. Yeah, so we can start by putting down some proxy mines if we really want to, because this means we can get more turtles than just the ones that we hit. Because if a turtle hits this, it can hit surrounding non-combo turtles like that, and that's really good for us. Next, we're going to get the hammer upgrade, because it just makes sense, right? You get a higher combo multiplier. Which means this is going to go 3 times and eventually 5 times as fast. So that's super important to get early on. And then next, we're just going to actually get a touch mine right in the middle there. Touch mines are super important for getting sort of a speedrun done. And you will certainly see why as the run goes on. So a huge component of this run is lag, and you know, you can lower the quality of the game, you can zoom in or whatever to sort of fix it, but or zoom out. I don't really know lag reduction strats on Flash, but my philosophy is just don't fight it, because lag is actually a great help, and since we use the in-game timer, it is really actually going to be a valuable thing at the end of your speedrun, which is silly, but it doesn't make sense to use real time for a few reasons. So really all we have to go off of is the in-game time, which is affected by lag. But that ultimately makes the game better. Don't even worry about it. You're probably thinking, how can that make the game more fun, to just lag it out a bunch? But might I remind you, the alternative is RTA, which is going to be, I mean, if you want to argue, it would be heavily like hardware dependent, and honestly just make the game less fun for everyone, when it is a really awesome speedrun, in my opinion. It's mostly about planning out your route to your, like, the actual placement is not important, because you know that before you start. You have your idea of what the ideal condition is, and you just want to get to that as fast as possible. So it's really your path to the end result that's more important than the end result, and that's something that I think makes this speedrun really unique and really fun. So if you're not aware, you haven't played this game before, the time ends when you get 1,000,000 score. It's not an endless game, although it may seem like it at first. The game has an ending, and it's when you get 1,000,000 score. So as you can see here, we're just honing these turtles. And now we're just gonna upgrade this a bunch. You really want to get a lot of turtles going here, because the more turtles, the higher the score. And you can already see the game is starting to lag a lot here, but this is good, and we're going to keep going with this setup. So many turtles, and you can see the timer already is starting to slow. Okay, and that's 20,000. That should be quite enough, honestly. But we're going to keep going, buying more of these touch mines, which, like I mentioned earlier, are essential. It basically, each touch mine you get adds 1 to your hammer. So you can imagine just like multiplying your hammer turtles by like 6 right now. And that should sort of explain, if you're not clear already, why touch mines are so important. Because we get all of these turtles, and then we can do it again. We can put a touch mine, and then it's all over again. More turtles. Put down another touch mine, more turtles. Another mine, more turtles. I mean, it's really overpowered when you look at it. So our next sell is going to be at 100,000 because you get a rank for that, so it's a good place to upgrade. But then we're just going to let the game run, and you can already see here that the game is running at 7 or 8 FPS, so that's really epic. I'm going to keep the quality on high. I just wasn't sure if it was on low or high there. Because we want more lag, it's good for execution purposes. Now that we've got 100k, I'm just going to run in here real slowly. And then put down more buzzsaws. And you guessed it, more proximity mines once we're done. So I think I'm going to put down 3 or 4 more. You don't want to put too many because at a certain point, in fact, no, I mean, put down as many as you like, I guess. It just becomes, it's kind of like a bad curve. At a certain point, it just becomes better to put more turtles into the game than it becomes to just proximity mine everywhere, in my opinion. I don't know. I haven't done real, like, tests on it or anything. It's just from what I've observed. And we're just going to get right into it with another hammer hit. We're going to explode this at the end. And this is where we just let it kind of sit, honestly. We're just at that point in the game where we don't need to sell anything else. We just need to explode all of these proximity mines, and we will have so many turtles flying around this place. And you can kind of get an idea of what your pace is just by looking at, you know, the number of the combo meter against the timer, seeing how many turtles you're actually comboing per in-game second. Because it looks slow, but that's because the timer is actually moving really slowly as well, when you're actually gaining combo really fast. So I'm just going to explode a few more of these. The more turtles you have out, the more you have to wait, because the game slows down. I mean, right now we're probably at like, 5 FPS. I mean, we'll get it down to 3 by the end of it, probably. Oh, that exploded multiple. I didn't want to do that. See, that's another thing about proximity mines. Put them too close together, you actually reduce your effectiveness because you accidentally click on 2, and then you basically only get half of what you would have gotten normally. This is looking like it's probably on pace for a sub 6, honestly. As you can see here, we have not even hit the 5-minute mark, and we're almost at 200,000. And if you look at the speed we're gaining it, I mean, I'll try to measure it. Okay, now, so basically, now we're going to see how many we get in 10 seconds. That's like a good period to kind of check your average combo rate. So once it gets to 5 minutes, I will time the combo increase and see how much we're getting in 10 seconds. And if you want, you can divide that by 10 to see how many you're getting in 1 second. But honestly, it's going by so fast, I imagine it's going to be over 100,000 in 10 seconds, which is really good. So now, coming up on 5 minutes here. Okay, so 5 minutes we're at 296,000. And as you can see, we're just like racing ahead. That's like 20,000 in a second. So that honestly, I don't think it was 20,000 in a second. That seems ridiculous to think that it would be 200,000 in 10 seconds. But let's see, it was at 296, I think. so let's just watch it from here. I mean, yeah, I mean, we've almost done 100,000 here. We're not even at 5 seconds. It actually seems like we're going at a rate of 200,000 every 10 seconds, which is legitimately crazy. Yeah, so we just did 100,000 in about 4.8 seconds. So going off of that, if we're at 200,000 per 10 seconds, then we'll be at 500,000 at 510, which means we'll be at 700,000, 520, 900,000 at 530. So we're probably going to come in at 535. That's my estimate for this run, which is really good. I haven't seen a time that low ever. I saw somebody did a run that was like 9 minutes, but it was clearly not as optimized as this strategy. And right on cue, we are at 500,000 before we even reach 510. So it'll be sub 535, most likely. This part of the run's kind of boring. It's like skateboarding in Champion Island. It's just waiting. But RTA is impractical for several reasons, so it is a lag game. So if you don't like that, stay away. It's what most Flash games end up being anyway. You can't ban lag in this game, it's always gonna lag. And honestly, even if you did, this strategy would most likely be the most efficient anyway. I don't see why it wouldn't be. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, at this point I'm just waiting, so... It seems like my prediction is going really well right now. I have nothing to comment on in this run. It is just going very, like, expected. Alright, last 100,000, and I mean, yeah, estimate seems pretty good that it'll be sub 535. Let's check out the FPS here. 4, that's good. We love that. Holy crap. Seems like it'll be confidently below 535. Can this run be improved? Obviously. Like, this isn't going to be like the only world record ever, but definitely like a good run to start it off with. And time, 5:32. Holy crap! And there it is, 1 million combo. That is the end of the game. I don't know. I guess we just wait for this to scroll past, and then we're out of the game. So, you know, like I said, awesome game, and I'm submitting it to speedrun.com. See ya!